to use that day for rest and celebrate the occasion from home, except for those whose duties require them to be at their workplace, as instructed by their respective supervisors.
The Minister for Home Affairs, George Simbachawene, has directed the officers involved in the arrest operations from the Tanzanian police force to be in full uniform during the operation and conduct all arrests during the day to increase transparency and eliminate fear among the public. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during his press briefing to clarify messages circulating online about peaceful demonstrations planned for tomorrow, December 9th, stating clearly that the demonstrations are illegal and that the police force is ready to take appropriate measures against any illegal activities. Rehema Sababili has more details.
Speaking in Dar es Salaam, Minister Simbachawene said nighttime police raids on private homes have caused fear among citizens, insisting that all police activities must follow proper legal procedures to ensure safety and transparency.
I have already instructed the IGP. I told him that during this period, I don't want arbitrary arrests. The only arrests I support are those conducted strictly according to the law, where officers are in uniform and follow proper legal procedures.
With tomorrow being a public holiday, the minister is urging Tanzanians without essential duties to stay home and avoid unofficial crowds. He also appealed to the public not to join or promote the planned demonstrations either online or on the streets.
What we want to emphasize is this: if you do not have a strong reason to go outside, then please stay indoors. But to be clear, the police and the entire police force are fully prepared. We are not forcing anyone to remain indoors if they have an important matter that requires them to go out.
Simbachawene added that national security continues to improve, and he calls on the citizens to help prevent a repeat of the violent incidents witnessed on October 29th, which caused significant damage, encouraging the public to report any signs of illegal protest mobilization. From Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sababili, TBC News.
In other news, the Director of Interparliamentary Union, IPU, Ambassador Anda Philip, has expressed his satisfaction over Tanzania's readiness to host a major meeting of over 1,500 global parliamentary leaders in October next year. He made the remarks when he met and held talks with Tanzania's Speaker of Parliament, Musa Azan Zungu, in Dar es Salaam, applauding the country's facilities, security, and the overall peace. Speaking during the meeting, Speaker Zungu further explains that the delegation is expected to table strong recommendations for Tanzania, adding that the meeting will showcase Tanzania's commitment to democracy, media freedom, human rights, and national stability under President Samia Suluhu Hassan.
In their report, they will present key points and major arguments for the meeting to be held here in our country, and to show the world that this nation upholds democracy, freedom of the press, human rights, and peace.
Uhuru wa vyombo vya habari, haki za binadamu na amani kwenye taifa letu.
On the other hand, Ambassador Anda Philip emphasizes how impressed they are with the peaceful environment and the ability of Arusha to host the expected delegates throughout the meeting. The positive assessment from the IPU team, Tanzania is now a step closer to securing the international gathering, positioning Arusha on the global stage once again. The Minister of State, President's Office, Planning and Investment, Professor Kitila Mkumbo, says Tanzanian government remains committed to invest in youth, announcing allocating over 300 acres within designated special economic zones for the group. The initiative aims to enable young university graduates to establish value-added agro-processing industries as well as technology and engineering ventures. Professor Mkumbo explains further that the program is part of the government's 5-year development priorities targeting enhanced productivity, competitiveness and job creation through the productive sectors of the economy.
So we have set aside about 320 hectares in 5 regions. These will be set aside exclusively for young people, graduates from universities and technical colleges. They will be given training linked with financial institutions for purposes of getting, capital, also linked with experienced investors, so that they are able to run some of the industrial sheds. So, for example, a major investor is able to put up an industrial park. Within the industrial park, there will be several industrial sheds. We want, in these areas, some of these industrial sheds to be managed and run by a group of young people who are coming from universities.
Professor Mkumbo emphasizes that the empowerment program goes beyond a mere land provision, as it also includes business development support, linkages to financial institutions for affordable capital, and integration with machinery and raw material supplies to reduce the operational and startup costs of industrial ventures.
For the past 20 years, that our economy has been growing, but not really in a very inclusive manner. Consequently, it has not been generating enough employment. Our focus now is to ensure that the economy grows inclusively, meaning that everybody must be included. That is only possible if the economic growth is generating employment. This is why our attention is very much in terms of generating employment, because we have a lot of young people here. Our population, more than 60% are young people. We really have to address the question of unemployment. This is key. So going forward, we look forward to the economy which is generating employment. And if it generates employment, it means that it is going to be addressing the issues of poverty.
Under this initiative, youth-focused special economic zones have been earmarked as follows. Nala will provide 100 acres in Kwala, 20 acres in Bunda, 100 acres in Songea, and 20 acres in Bagamoyo. Meanwhile, the Minister of Health, Mohamed Mchengerwa, has directed the Muhimbili National Hospital and all zonal hospitals to secure international accreditation to elevate healthcare standards, build public trust, and strengthen global competitiveness. He issued the directive during his visit to the Muhimbili National Hospital, insisting the move is part of a broader government initiative to improve the quality of healthcare services in the country. Here are more details.
Minister of Health Mohamed Mchengerwa is here at the Muhimbili National Hospital to inspect work done by the hospital, which serves thousands of Tanzanians daily. He outlines his plans for the hospital that go hand in hand with the global advancements in the health sector.
But my directive is not for Muhimbili alone. I am directing all zonal hospitals and all our institutions to begin the process of obtaining international accreditation. When we think about transforming the health sector into one that attracts people from different countries around the world to come to Tanzania for treatment, accreditation becomes essential.
He further gives the hospital 30 days to launch an online system, enabling patients to open medical files remotely, reducing long queues and increasing efficiency.
Once we obtain accreditation, our institutions and hospitals will be internationally recognized. This means we will be required to meet specific standards, and by meeting them, we will improve service delivery and increase national revenue by attracting more international clients.
The event was attended by key health leaders, including Government Chief Medical Officer Dr. Grace Magembe, Ilala District Commissioner Edward Mpogolo, Board Chairperson of Muhimbili National Hospital, Ellen Senkoro, and Executive Director of Muhimbili, Dr. Delila Kimambo.
This comes at a time when the hospital is undergoing major reforms that strengthen its legacy, enhancing quality services, delivery, professional excellence, innovation, and national pride.
Representing Dar es Salaam Regional Commissioner Albert Shalamila, Edward Mpogolo commends the government's efforts for expanding local healthcare capacity, which has significantly reduced the number of patients traveling abroad for treatment.
Tuna kila sababu ya kumshukuru rais wetu.
We have every reason to thank our president. In a very short period, she has brought a significant amount of funding into this health sector. In Ilala district alone, the president has allocated more than 117 billion shillings.
As Muhimbili celebrates 120 years of resilience, trust and innovation, depicting hospital's long history and the specific duration attributed to its current values and initiatives. Caroline Maleo, TBC News.
And more in health news, the Muhimbili Orthopedic Institute, in collaboration with the Embassy of India and the BMVSS organization, have teamed up to provide free artificial legs and arms to more than 140 Tanzanians who lost their body parts, restoring hope and dignity. The initiative targets people who lost their limbs due to accidents, diabetes complications, or other medical conditions, giving them a chance to walk, and live independently again. Antonia Kivaria has more details.
The Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, Musa Azan Zungu, says upon full completion of the project, artificial limb is expected to be more affordable, costing below 500,000 shillings instead of the current price of over 2.5 million.
Site here which is helping our Tanzanian fellows who have been in accidents and lost their limbs. It's a very unfortunate story that we are losing our young boys because of the accidents which are happening in Dar es Salaam and other areas in our country. So this institution has contributed a lot. They have already have a budget of $250,000 to provide service to Tanzania who have lost their limbs, about 600 of them. They have advised, because they won't be here for all the time, that this institution should be taken by the government and run by Moi Hospital in Muhimbili, where the government will also participate in making these limbs at a very low price instead of $900, which is being now paid by the donor, $250, which the patient can contribute part of it, and the government might be taking the rest of the expenses.
On the other hand, health specialist experts says the camp is a major breakthrough for the amputees who often struggle with mobility, social exclusion, and high cost of prosthetic limbs. They emphasize that timely access to artificial limbs can transform not only mobility but also mental and economic well-being.
Burden in people with diabetes has been the diabetic foot and the gangrene, resulting into amputation. And because the cost of putting the prosthesis is very expensive, more than 2 million shillings, many of the patients prefer to buy a wheelchair of 150 to 200,000 and sit on a wheelchair for the rest of their life because they cannot afford the amputation foot. So this initiative, which was initiated by the High Commissioner of India together with the Ministry of Health, we are very delighted to work together with them and to ensure we provide information to all our people with diabetes all over the country. And we've got a lot of people who have come from up country to access this care. And we hope that it will continue for a long time.
Servicing 600 people who have lost their limbs, upper limbs and lower limbs. We, Moi Orthopedic Institute, we are here together with them to collaborate in doing assessment, to know the need, to do appointment before there's people coming for their fitting here. I'm Moi to cooperate with this, first because we are a government institute, and also we want to know the need. Here we are doing need assessment to know how many people are there who are in need of this service, but they cannot afford because of the price.
Furthermore, beneficiaries of the camp share their emotional testimonies, explaining how receiving the artificial limb for the first time in years, giving them renewed confidence and ability to return to their daily activities.
Lakini baada ya kupata fursa hii ambayo ni ya kutoa viungo bandia.
Receiving this opportunity to get an artificial limb, I followed up closely at Moi. I traveled from Mwanza to come here for treatment. I was welcomed very well, and this morning I received my prosthetic leg.
Mimi nilipata changamoto ya kukatwa mguu kwa sababu ya maradhi ya sukari.
I had my leg amputated because of diabetes in 2022. So when I received this opportunity, I was given an artificial leg and I'm now doing the exercise.
As the camp continues, hundreds more are expected to benefit in the coming days, making a powerful step toward inclusive healthcare and giving amputees a renewed chance at life. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Antonia Kivari.
Thank you so much, Antonia Kivario, with that reportage. In other news, Tanzanians have been urged to capitalize on the country's development vision, Dira 2050, by engaging in key economic sectors as the nation prepares to mark 64 years of independence. Speaking to TBC News in an exclusive interview, retired diplomat Ambassador Dr. Msuya Mangachi insisted the vision document is the blueprint to Tanzania, adding that peace and stability is the imperative prerequisite to every expected transformation.
Vision 2050 is a very good document. I think it identifies almost all areas of development. And if we can move within 5 years, plans and so on, to that objective, to achieving the objectives of that Vision 2050, Tanzania will definitely become a middle income, an upper middle income country, so to speak. Because now I think we are hovering in the lower middle income country. But we can surely reach the upper middle income country in 2050. But yes, maybe we should add the issue of peace and security, because without peace and security, you cannot have development. So what we are seeing in Congo, Somalia, and the bickerings following elections in our countries and so on, all these things that disturb peace do not augur well for a stable and future East African community.
Dr. Mangachi furthermore says Tanzania stands a better position to tap into what East African community can offer.
To focus on the process of integration itself. Having such a big area is an opportunity in terms of market. So this is an area where you are talking of close to almost 200 million people now. So when you produce goods and services, the market becomes broader. So you can talk of the customs union, which talks mainly about movement of goods across borders at the reduced tariffs. But common market which talks about movement of factors of production, the goods and services itself coming from the customs union, but now factors of production like labor and the right of establishment of people, free movement of people. Or, well, it's supposed to be labor, but people would like to move, but people should move along with their goods and services.
Tanzania's government has cancelled Independence Day celebrations scheduled for tomorrow, December 9th, 2025, and has directed that the budget instead be used to repair infrastructure damaged by the recent post-election unrest. Each year, the world marks International Volunteer Day as an occasion to honor the dedication of millions of people who give their skills, time and energy to support the communities. Here in Tanzania, volunteers continue to make a meaningful impact in areas such as health, education, environmental conservation, and community development. Here are more details.
In communities across the country, volunteers are the unsung heroes, offering their time and skills without expecting anything in return. They're being honored for the impact they make every day, from community health outreach to environmental cleanups to supporting vulnerable groups. Among those being celebrated is Agnes Kabisa, a young woman who started as a volunteer and today has a full-time job. Shares the importance of volunteering and how it can open more opportunities doors.
And I started my volunteering journey when I was in Form 6 all the way to my second year of university, where I volunteered as the communications officer for the youth of United Nations Association. Through those 3 years, trust me, I learned a lot. I met a lot of people who have introduced me to more opportunities than I could ever imagine. I got the opportunity to work with big institutions and organizations such as Oxford Policy Management, and later on worked for a marketing agency that has introduced me to skills.
NGO leaders say how volunteers are the backbone of many community programs, bridging gaps where resources are limited and strengthening national development efforts.
According to my view, volunteers play a critical role in improving the community, both local here in Tanzania and global. Volunteers fill the gap when resources are limited. I mean, time and money. They're providing support in different sectors, including education, public health, climate change, and environment, and ensure provision of social services in the communities.
Despite challenges faced by this group, organizers say recognizing volunteers is key to encouraging more young people to get involved and contribute to the development of their communities.
So I'm here to encourage the youth of Tanzania. Take initiatives, be involved, join local groups, support the community, give your time and resources to the community, because all the efforts that you're doing right now, today, to this Tanzania, are the same efforts that are going to shape the Tanzania that we need tomorrow.
This year's International Volunteer Day featured the global launch of IVY 2026 on 5th December at the UN General Assembly Hall in New York. Esther Deus, TBC News.
Before we wind up our local news tonight, let's take a look on today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Karibu ungane nami katika utabiri wa hali ya hewa ambao ni wa saa 24 zijazo kuanzia saa 3 usiku huu. Kwa siku ya leo, maeneo yote yanatarajiwa kuwa makavu. Na kwa siku ya kesho, upepo unatarajiwa kuvuma kwa kasi ya kilomita 30 kwa saa kwa ziwa Victoria pamoja na ziwa Nyasa, na kwa kasi ya kilomita 20 kwa saa kwa ziwa Tanganyika pamoja na ziwa Rukwa. Hali ya ziwa inatarajiwa kuwa na mawimbi madogo hadi mawimbi makubwa kiasi. Na kwa ukanda wa pwani yote, upepo unatarajiwa kuvuma kwa kasi ya kilomita 20 kwa saa, huku hali ya bahari ikitarajiwa kuwa na mawimbi madogo. Hali ya joto bado inaonekana kuendelea katika maeneo mengi, huku kiwango cha juu zaidi cha joto kikitarajiwa kufikia nyuzi joto 35 katika mkoa wa Morogoro. Na nyuzi joto
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegumole. Good night.